You ever notice how some people can sleep for 8 hours, 10 hours even, and still wake up tired? Not physically tired, something deeper than that. Like their mind never really stopped moving. Like even resting started to feel like work. I think a lot of people call themselves lazy when they're actually just emotionally overloaded. And eventually, your mind gets so heavy that even simple things start feeling impossible. Not because you're weak, not because you don't care, but because your internal world has been carrying too much weight for too long. And honestly, I think a lot more people are experiencing this than they realize. So, here are 3 signs your soul might be exhausted, not lazy. Number 1. You struggle to start things, even things you actually care about. And this one is dangerous because people around you usually misunderstand it. They think, if you cared enough, you'd just do it. But sometimes the problem isn't desire. Sometimes the problem is emotional friction. Your brain has been under stress for so long that every task starts feeling heavier than it actually is. Even replying to messages, even getting out of bed, even opening the laptop, even doing something you once loved. And the weird part is, you still think about doing the thing. You want to become better. You want to move forward. You want your life to improve. But there's this strange, invisible resistance sitting between intention and action. Like your nervous system just quietly whispers, "Not today." And after enough time passes, you start attacking yourself for it. You call yourself lazy, undisciplined, inconsistent. But exhausted people often look lazy from the outside, because exhaustion doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it just looks like staring at a wall for 30 minutes, trying to gather the energy to exist again. And I think modern life makes this worse, because everybody's constantly consuming everyone else's momentum. Everybody's watching people online, building businesses, traveling, getting rich, working out, posting productivity routines, while secretly feeling emotionally underwater themselves. So now you're exhausted and ashamed of being exhausted. Terrible combination. Number 2, peace feels unfamiliar to you. And this one took me a long time to understand personally. Some people grew up around so much stress, so much unpredictability, so much emotional noise, that calmness almost starts feeling suspicious. Like when life finally slows down, your brain starts searching for danger anyway. You ever sit in silence and suddenly feel anxious for no reason? Like your mind needs a problem to chew on? That's not always overthinking. Sometimes your nervous system became addicted to survival mode. Chaos became familiar. And humans will cling to familiarity, even when it hurts them. That's why some people sabotage peaceful situations without realizing it. They finally enter a healthy season and suddenly feel restless. A stable relationship feels boring. A quiet day feels uncomfortable. Rest feels unproductive. Stillness feels wrong. Because deep down, their body learned that being alert equals being safe. And when you live like that long enough, your soul never fully unclenches. You're technically resting, but internally, you're still bracing for impact. And honestly, I think a lot of people miss who they are underneath all that tension. There's probably a softer version of you somewhere underneath the survival instincts. A calmer version, a more creative version, a version of you that doesn't constantly feel behind in life. But survival mode is loud, so you stop hearing yourself clearly. Number 3, you don't feel excited about things anymore. Not deeply, not the way you used to. And this doesn't always mean depression either. Sometimes it's emotional burnout that slowly drains the color out of your inner world. You still laugh sometimes, you still function, you still go through the motions, but there's a disconnect. Like life started feeling emotionally flat. And one of the saddest parts about prolonged exhaustion is that eventually you stop looking forward to things. Not because you became negative, but because your mind got tired of carrying disappointment. So now you approach everything cautiously, even opportunities, even happiness, even hope. Because hoping requires energy too. And tired people protect themselves by lowering emotional investment. That way, if things go wrong again, it hurts less. But the problem is, it also becomes harder to feel alive. And I think many people right now are surviving, but not emotionally experiencing their own lives anymore. They're mentally elsewhere all the time, thinking about bills, thinking about mistakes, thinking about the future, thinking about who they should have been by now. Meanwhile, life keeps quietly passing by in the background. The sunlight, the conversations, the small peaceful moments, the feeling of being here, gone, missed entirely. And honestly, I don't think humans were designed to absorb this much pressure all the time. Constant stimulation, constant comparison, constant bad news, constant urgency. Everybody's nervous system is overheating, and then we shame ourselves for struggling. Strange world. So if you've been calling yourself lazy lately, maybe pause for a second before you destroy yourself with guilt. Maybe your soul is just tired. Maybe you've been carrying too much for too long without properly recovering. Maybe your mind adapted to survival, but forgot how to feel safe afterward. And maybe healing doesn't begin with more pressure. Maybe it begins with honesty. Real honesty. The kind where you finally admit, I'm exhausted. Not weak, not worthless, not broken, just tired. And tired people deserve recovery too. Not every season of life is meant for sprinting. Some seasons are for rebuilding your inner world quietly, without needing to prove anything to anybody. And honestly, there's something beautiful about learning how to breathe again after years of surviving, even if it happens slowly, even if nobody notices at first, even if all you did today was keep going. That still counts for something.